Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are going to I'm going to be showing you how you can turn a 2D image into a 3D image through Blender. And then I'm going to show you how you can import that into Roblox and have all of its textures and colors be imported with it. So let's get straight off into Blender. So let's say you found your image online. We've go ahead and already download it. Or you can find images online just by simply going to Google and looking up like a front view of a house. As a demonstration, we're going to be using this image here today. So we'll go ahead and I'm just going to turn this music down just a tiny bit so we can get ourselves in the mood. There we go. So, to begin with, we're in Blender. What we're going to do is we'll go ahead, I'm going to press Shift A to bring up our menu here. I'm just going to go that, Shift A, and I'm going to mesh. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select a cube. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Q. Oh, sorry, no, I'm going to press Tab to go into edit mode. I'm going to press Q, I'm going to press move. I'm going to press G, and I'm going to hold Control, and that's going to allow me to move it up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and press number 3. I'm going to go ahead and click on this side here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drag it in and holding Control, snap it. You can hold Shift to go in between the blocks. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the smallest block we can, which is going to be, we're going to do that for the purpose of this. So, we've got our cube here. I'm using scroll to rotate around my object. You can hold Shift and scroll to pull. You can zoom in. And anyway, so we'll go ahead and we'll go to our shading tab. Once we're on our shading tab, we're going to go ahead and press New to bring up a material. And we can go ahead and face our block here. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and bring our image in. So I'm going to go to my pictures, Blender, and just go ahead and the testo is what I've called mine for the time being. Press open image. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we will wait for this ad to go past. So what we're going to do is we're going to now do Shift A. We're going to go ahead and search up. We're going to do image texture. Just like that. We can go ahead and get our image here. Select our image there. And drag the colour to the base colour. Now that's going to be on there. But it's not. It doesn't look right at the moment. So we're going to fix that. So we'll go ahead and go to the UV editing tab. And with the UV editing tab, we can go ahead and go into render view. And select our object by pressing A. We're going to press U. And then we're going to go ahead and press Smart UV Project. Okay, and as you can see, our image is now sideways. That's completely fine. What we're going to do now is we're just going to fix that. So we're going to go ahead and select, clicking off our object and selecting the face. We can now go ahead and go onto this image here, and we can go ahead and just line up. So I'm going to go ahead and select our, pressing 2 to go into line mode, and press G. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go as long as I want until I get the right kind of. So I think I'm going to do it to the building, so I'm going to go do that. And then we'll just go ahead and do that the opposite side as well. Make sure that is, you know, it's all flat on the image. It looks flat and it's not going to be, yeah, okay. So now what we're doing now is I'm going to press Control A. No, not Control A, just A. You can press R to rotate it. And then just rotate this the right way. So it's something like, hold Shift to get it more accurate. There we go. And then all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and line them up again. So holding Shift to get them a little bit more accurate. And then we'll do the exact same again. G. Just going to go ahead and do it as long as I can. And I'm going to bring these down now. So we're going to do that now. There we go. And we'll do the exact same for this one here. Okay. So we've got our image now. Now, how are we going to do this? So, first of all, what we're going to do now is we're going to basically draw around our image. So we're going to go ahead and press Q and go to knife tool. If you don't see the knife tool, it will be on here. You can add it to your quick menu by right-clicking and pressing Add to Quick Favorites. So we'll go ahead and begin. We'll go ahead and just start tracing around our house. So we're going to go all the way around to about there. I'm just going to go all the way around on top of these apexes. I don't think I want that bit of the roof, so I'm just going to go all the way down to the bottom. I'm just going to go all the way around our house, basically. So we'll get this doing this just nice. All the way down into our house. And we'll go all the way around. 1 second. If you hold control, it won't snap. Allows you to get a little bit more accurate. Just going to go all the way down to here. And I can just go all the way across here to the edge of our building. We'll hold shift and middle mouse to move. And then we can go ahead and go back a little bit, go all the way up again. Just making sure we get this as accurate as possible. And then we're going to go to the edge here, all the way around until we meet our other point here. Just like that. So now what I can do now is I'm going to right click and then I'm going to press enter. And just like that, our mesh has now been cut. Now there will be some areas where it needs to be, you know, like here for example, we just need to go ahead and just redo that bit there. Making sure it's obviously, you know, got that line up there. So we can press enter now. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and go back into our move. We're going to press 3. I'm going to select our outer edges, or this you know, this area around our house. I'm going to press X. I'm going to go ahead and delete the faces. And do the exact same again. And we'll go ahead and grab the faces here as well, and the faces all the way around our house. Now all we're going to do is go in and get all these little bits that we missed. So you can see how this texture is not really lined up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and go into the knife tool again. And let's not click the... I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way around this. Again, holding control, it won't snap. 1 second, sorry about this. My bad. So we'll go ahead and make sure we are actually clicking on this. Why is it not working? Sorry. Right, we'll do it here, so we're going to do it all the way around here. And just getting rid of all the scenery that's, you know, making our image. Press enter, go ahead and move, we'll go ahead and get rid of that, delete faces. We're just going to keep doing this, and I will be back once we are to the point where I like. Just keep going around your objects and keep refining it until you're happy with the result. Okay, so once you're happy with your result, what we can do now is we can start by making this image a little bit more 3D. So to do that, what we're going to do now is go into our knife tool, and we're going to go ahead and find out where our apexes is. So for example, what I mean by apexes is, you know, we've got a roof here, that's an apex. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and grab our the point here, which will go ahead and go down, just like this. And all we're going to do now is just make our way all the way around the top of this roof, on the underbelly of it, all the way down. And then we're just going to trace around the edges of our roof. And this is the exact same process you would use if you were doing your building. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this as well down here. Make sure we get all the way to the end. Follow it as much as possible. There we go. Now we press enter. That will separate it. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to select our image. So it would be move. And what we're going to do now is, so for example, we've got our, we can go ahead and press E. And we can go ahead and pull that. No, I don't want to do that. So no, that's not what I want to do. We're going to select our roof. Sorry, this is the wrong thing. And all we're going to do now is we're going to press E. And we're going to pull that forward a little bit. Just a little bit. Just to give us, you know, it's giving us a little bit of depth now. But what I want is, I want this bit of the roof to, you know, that's standing out quite well. So, we're going to do the same for this bottom half here. So we'll do the exact same here. Get a knife. And we'll continue doing this all the way down. And then what do I want to do here? So with this bit, we're going to do ahead and just go along the edges. Yep. All the way down. Remember, this is going to be like an overhanging roof. Got to remember that. So, we press enter. And then what we can do now is we know that this is a different part of the house. So we can actually just follow this along the edges here as much as we can. And that's just going to give us the natural shape of the house. All the way down. Then press enter. We'll go ahead and move, which do the exact same thing. We're going to go ahead and you can move it out if you want to, but we're going to go ahead and extrude it out just a little bit. And this is going to be a little bit more than the roof, so we can go ahead and give it a little bit more than that. And I kind of like the look of that at the moment in time. So next thing we're going to do now is do the windows. So we'll go ahead and get a knife. I'm just go ahead and trace around the windows. So we'll go ahead and do that all the way around our windows. Just like this. Now I haven't done that exact, so I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I get this exact shape of the window. Square as possible, that would be nice. Go ahead and do the other window as well. Do all the windows at once, just make our lives a little bit easier. I'm going to say about, maybe it's not there, I'm going to go like maybe it's here. All the way around to, let's say about there. We can make our own windows anyway, so we're not doing it exact, but that would be acceptable. We'll do it here as well. Again, holding control, it won't snap to anything, so I didn't mean to do that. Oh no, done several things I didn't mean to do. Redo. Okay, we'll have to do the windows again. So I'll be back once I get the windows done. Okay, so now that I've got my windows done, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and move tool and select our windows, and all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull them back by pressing E, and then I can pull them back in. That's going to create as a natural kind of window frame. And that's quite nice. I like that a lot. So what we're going to do now is just going to go around the details of the building. So we've got these little ledges here, which we're going to go ahead and pull these out. So what we can do is go out to knife tool, and we're just going to go ahead and do our best of our abilities to try and match the shapes. So like this, all the way around our edges of our building. Make sure we obviously, if we hold control, it will snap there. If I press right click, it will stop any lines that I've got currently. You can go ahead and try and get this as accurate as possible. Might need to turn our camera angle in a second. There we go. There we go. Now if we go ahead and press enter on that, that will correct that. Go ahead and do this again. This is going to give us our building just a little bit more depth, and that's what we're looking for. Just to give it a little bit more depth. Now I will admit I'm not using the best of stuff textures, but I'm sure you can find online better textures, and you may even want to put your own textures on there. This is just a quick tutorial on how you can actually get a building to look like a building. So that's all the purpose of this video we're going to be doing. So go ahead and do this here as well. Again, it doesn't have to be exactly straight, but we'll give it a take straight enough. Again, if it doesn't work, hold control. That might be because I've done that, so I'm just going to do this. I was trying to get a different line, that's why. Make sure you're actually on the, this line here, not that line. Go ahead and do this. I will also provide you with a link for this image if you do want to go ahead and practice on this image here. So go ahead and do that. We'll make sure we're getting all these little details of the building, which is, these little bars and banisters, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to make sure we get all of them. Enter. Nice. And then we've got one here, which is a little bit of a weird shape, but we can work with it. So we're going to go ahead and just try and get the shape in. Again, just trying to match up as best as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to give the building, the more time you spend on it, the more the building, well, the better the building's going to look, really. Make sure we get this line here. All the way down. There we go. We've got one line here. And we'll move down to the bottom half of the building in a second. We are just working on the top though. So we'll make sure we get all these like little, a little bit of a ridge here. So we'll go ahead and press enter. Now what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull these little edges out. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull them out by pressing E. And then I can hold Shift to get a more kind of accurate. Just a little bit. Just to give it more depth. And you can see here where it's connected. So we need to go ahead and do a knife here. All the way down. And make sure we are actually getting this own, you know, keeping its own little shape. There we go. Enter again. Go ahead and select this out of shape. Now, as you can see here, this part of the building is actually like supposed to be a little bit closer in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select our like a top half here, just like this, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to extrude it outwards a little bit more. And we'll do the same for these bits here. We'll go ahead and pull them out a little bit more. And that's just going to give the building a little bit more depth. And that's going to make it look like, you know, it's more natural. We can go ahead and pull this out now. You can see here where it's connected here. We don't want that connection. So we'll go ahead and knife that. Just there. And we should have... Make sure we are actually getting all these little faces and things. You can see here where I've not actually done any down the bottom here. So if I didn't mean to do that. If I do a shift click, we can see here that, you know, I've missed a bit here, so we can go ahead and, you know, I'm just going to go down to the bottom here, making sure that's like in a line, and then press enter. Okay, now we can go ahead and select our faces, which is going to be here, here, and here. And all we can do now is extrude out just a little tiny bit. And that's going to give this, you know, a little bit more depth and a little bit more natural feel to the building. And then we can see here where I've missed some here as well. So we're going to do the same thing here. Knife. Extrude it up here. Enter. You can actually see here where I've, like, this part of this texture should not be here, so we're going to go ahead and just get rid of that. Down to there, enter, move, go ahead and set that and do faces. And don't worry about this texture, it doesn't look the best at the moment, but we will be fixing it in a second. We can go ahead and select this now, put it out. See where we've actually missed a part here, so we can go select this face. Just a little bit, so it gives it a little bit of an edge to the building. And we see here we've got another one here which we haven't done yet, so we'll go ahead and use the knife tool all the way down to the bottom. There we go. All the way down here. So we actually selected it, nice. Now we'll go ahead and press enter. Should be able to select this now. And we can go ahead and extrude it outwards just a little bit. That's giving the natural shape of the building, which is what we want. Natural shape of the building. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to work on this bottom half, because it's not quite right, is it? Being realistic. So what we're going to do now is select this apex of this building here. And so we know this is the roof, so we can go ahead and, you know, we're just going to follow this down to about there. And again, I'm holding control to make sure it doesn't snap to anywhere. Making sure that is what we want. Just like that. And I'm going to right click and press enter. And now what we can do is we can select our just this bottom half here. We can actually just pull it forward if we wanted to. Depends what you want, but I'm going to go ahead and just pull it forward like that, because I know I can get a much nicer, you know, depth to the building by doing this. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to make it a little bit more 3D rather than it just being this little 2D image down the bottom here. So We're going to do the exact same thing here. Is we know that there is a doorway here, so what we're going to do now is we're going to retain the building shape. So what we're going to do now is grab the corners here, all the way down here. Do the exact same here. And then what we can do as well is we can just select the top half of this and just do a cross there. And then we can go ahead and press enter. And then what we can do is to make it more 3D, we can just select make sure we've got the knife tool and go around the edges now. And as straight as possible will help. So it's connected. So we'll go ahead and hold Control to make sure it doesn't snap. Across and press enter. And now we can go ahead and select our image. And then we're going to go ahead and just do E to move it out. Now at the moment it doesn't look the best, but that's fine because we are going to be fixing it in a second, as I said. So we'll go ahead and grab there is a gap here. We need to make sure this gap is retained. So we're going to go ahead and just go around the edges here. Try and see if we get rid of all this space here. Go ahead and set that. Press X, faces. And then what we can do now is making sure we have, see there's a little bit of mesh here that's not nice. So we're going to get rid of that. And what we're going to do now is, again, to make it 3D, we're just going to select our door. And we can actually do a knife tool. And actually, no, we need to select our door here. What we're going to do now is in our mesh, we're just going to straighten it out. So go to 1, and we can go ahead and just grab our points. And we can just make sure that this is like actually looking like the door. So we make sure it's on the edge here. Make sure we're grabbing it. Just make sure it's straight. Make sure it's like in line with the door frame. Just like this. Obviously that one isn't, so we can move that in. There we go. And that's about as straight as I'm going to get it. So what we can do now is we can delete the face. And that's just going to allow us to, it's not exactly straight, and that's the thing, that there's no depth to it. That's the problem. So we're going to go ahead and grab our knife tool again. Make sure we get all these points. So you can see here how this is not the part of the building, so we can move all around the edge of the building here. Make sure that is connected. And we'll go all the way around the edge to what's viewable. Just like this. We press enter, and then we can go ahead and select our face and just delete this. Making sure we have actually deleting it. And that is basically the idea of the shape we need. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Again, we're going to go all the way around the edges of this building. And then we can select our faces and delete them. Now the problem is it does not look 3D at all. This looks kind of weird, and that's perfectly fine. We will be fixing this. So that's our door. So we know that a porch is going to be here. So what we can actually do is we can select our door frame. We can just extrude this door frame out. And we can just go ahead and make sure that that matches up in line. And we'll do the exact same for this side. Ensure it does actually match up. And that's going to give us the size we want. So we can go ahead and extrude it again to the level we want. We can go ahead and pull this back now. Now again, I'm not going to be making a full house. This is just a demonstration of how you could make a house hypothetically. But what we're going to do now is with our blocks here, I'm just going to extrude them just a little bit. Just to give the house a little bit more depth and to give it a little bit more kind of 3D. You can see here how the texture is not quite right at the top here, so we're just going to go ahead. I'm just going to cut this out entirely, make it as uniform to the other one as possible. Go ahead and select it. X and faces. We'll go ahead and do the same thing here with this. We'll just go ahead and move this up until its level, so we can go ahead and do something like that. So that's quite fine. And then what we can do now is, you know, see how here where there's the gap here, we don't want that. So to make sure that we actually, you know, we've got the right shape, the right height for our porch. And again, the image isn't quite right, that's fine. I'm going to select our image now. And all we're going to do now is, I feel like that's not bad, that one on the left hand side here, so we'll leave that one for the time being. But we'll move on to this one, and you can see here how the image is not, you know, it's not quite right. But that's fine, we can go ahead and fix this. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move this into the window. And that's just going to make the window a little bit bigger. Making sure it is obviously a window after all. Making sure that is obviously what I want. You can see how it's not exactly right here in the corner, so we're going to move this down. You can actually see that it's not quite right. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and do smart UV wrap. And then we can go ahead and select our image. Just move it down again, scale it in. Now we can just properly, you know, fix it against the window. Making sure they are straight, of course. Why is that like that though? That's the question, I don't know. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give instead of making a window there, I'm just going to have a wall. I think it's probably going to be the best solution here. So, I see. So this is why it's not looking right. So we'll fix this in a second. For the time being, we just leave it like that. Again, what we're going to do is we want to extrude this out. Oh gosh, no, I want to make sure I've got all these selected. Just like this. And as I said, it's not going to be looking the best, and I do know that it's not going to be looking the best, but I'm not trying to make the best thing, it's just going to be the front of the house. We can go ahead and bring this out. Try and match the other one. Do a bit more. There we go. And again, we're not trying to make an actual house. It's just me a 3D model of a house. What we're going to do now is just going to set down our top of our you know, all these textures that aren't matching up. We can just select them. So like these side of these houses here. Just like this. All the way around. Wherever this texture is blue, we're going to remove it. Not remove it, but like change it. I'm going to go ahead and select A. I'm going to press S to 0. And I'm going to go pick a colour. I'm going to go for on the window, because that's going to be like a nice black. And we can go ahead and do the exact same for this rooftop tile here. Just like this. Making sure it's all, you know, the same colour. So there's a bit there, face there I miss, and a face there. Then press S, scale down to 0, and then I'm going to move it into the window so it's got a black texture. We can see here where this building needs to be pulled back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go in Knife Tool. I'm just going to go and follow this apex down here, all the way over to the end of our roof tile here. Now what I can do is I can select our thing and just extrude it. No, not extrude it, sorry. I'm just going to move it in. No, I'm not. Sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select our roof. That's it. Select our roof and extrude it outwards just a little bit. Okay, I want to separate it because this is yeah, that's fine. It looks pretty good to me. Make sure it's got that edge to it, you know? It's got that edge. Not much, but it's got the edge. Right. So let's make our windows a little bit more nicer. So what we're going to do now is select the inner bits of our windows. Just like this. Just like this.
The future is unpredictable at times. But the Open University...
So I've changed my mind, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go into move mode. I'm just going to go ahead and delete the windows, and press X and delete the faces. And then what I can do here is, again, I want this grey texture. I don't want, so what I'm going to do is I'm just go ahead and press X and delete this. Sorry, 1 second. I want a grey texture, so I'm going to press S to scale it down to 0. And then I want to just go for a grey texture. Do that thing there, S, scale down to 0. Now we've got a nice grey texture on the roof. Do the exact same for here. So it is grey. Make sure it's the same like shade of grey. Okay, so there's our house. Now I know it doesn't look exactly accurate, but that's fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to try to work it out. So we're going to grab the front of our, these aren't quite right. So we're going to go ahead and select these. And we'll go ahead and scale them down. Scale them to, we can scale that down to, down to 0. And that's going to go on a white. Again, you can add all these textures back in later. This is just making it a little bit more kind of not look like it's a weird texture of the house, so to speak. The whole premise of this video is to turn a 2D image into a 3D image. That's what we're doing. We'll select all the inner under parts of the house here, just like this. Making sure they're all selected. Then we can go ahead and scale them down to 0 and do a white again. Again, these textures aren't quite right, but that's fine. We can go ahead and fix them later on. All we're going to do now is you can see where the house should be. So we're going to go ahead and just grab our end of our house here. I'm going to grab it and move it along. And I know this house doesn't look the best from the back point of view. Again, this is not the premise. The premise is to turn a 2D image into a 3D image. That's what we're going to be doing. So we've got our house, and we can go ahead and add our windows in a second. For that, we'll do that in a second. We'll select our house here. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and do A. We're going to go Shift D. And all we're going to do now is move this image back. just like this. Oh no, sorry. No, not sorry, nope. What we're going to do, sorry, is we're going to Control Z that. We're going to not select the whole house, we're going to press Control A. We're going to unselect this, these platforms we've got down here. I'm holding Control to do that, and then just dragging, just like this. And I'm going to control, just so we can get all these other surfaces that we don't need. Just like this. So we've got all of them. Once you've got all of them, we can go ahead. Oh no, there's one there. We can go ahead and press Shift D now. And what we're going to do now is just going to go ahead and rotate this round. Until it is level. And then we can just make sure that's lined up. Actually, no, that's not a good idea. Sorry, that's my bad. We're just going to leave the house like this, and then we are going to, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Sorry, we're going to grab our block stuff here. We're just going to make sure that this block was extrude to move it up. And we're just going to go ahead and bring this block up, just like this, and then we can go ahead and grab our blocks and connect them. The idea of the house is to make it look 3D. It's not, you know, not to have this texture of the house on it. That is the premise of it. So we're going to do this, and all we're going to do now is not do this. Sorry, this is bad. We're going to grab our knife tool again, and we're just going to go ahead and crop here. Enter. And we can go ahead and extrude this over. And then we can just go ahead and extrude this down, all the way down to the edge of the door. And the idea is to just, you know, make it look like it's the background of the building. So if it's pushing through, we're just going to pull it back a little bit, so it doesn't push through. And that is the house in a 3D form factor, basically, is what I mean by that. Like I said, it's not exactly the best texture I've got, so you can't really blame me for it not looking the best. But we've just taken a 2D image and we've transferred it into a 3D image. So, how do we take this and then put it into Roblox? What we're going to do now is we're going to go up to our UV editing tab. We're going to go into image, and what we're going to do is press pack. Then we can go ahead and we can go back to our layout mode. We can go to file. File, and we can go to export as an FBX, and we can go ahead and save that as United FBX. Save that to the desktop, and then we can go ahead and launch up Roblox. So we'll do for both of this. We'll just go ahead and grab this. Grab our world, okay, and what we can do now is we can meshes, we can upload our mesh, we can do untitled FBX, and we can press apply, give it a few seconds, and there we go. If we go ahead and right click and press insert with location, and we do double-sided, you can see our mesh has come out with all the colors. Now again, it doesn't look the best, and I know that, but that's you know, it depends on how long you want to spend on your mesh. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and give us some light on our house, just to make it look a little bit better in the light. Go ahead and the range, we want to increase that. The brightness will increase as well. And that is how we make ourselves a 3D house from a 2D image. If you like the video and you want to see more, I will be doing more of these in the future. I will be showing you how to make more things. This is just the very basic, and I want to teach you this skill. So thank you for watching. My name's Ryan, and I'll see you guys. in the next video. Peace.